chain noises.
This goes up after Halloween.
Oh well, this is the ghost of Thanksgiving, of all the billions of slaughtered turkeys over the years, and how delicious they were.
I am the ghost of Thanksgiving past, or cyborg. I don't remember what
the
it is.
cybernetic ghost of Christmas past, or what?
That's the one where he's like a robot turkey thing. Okay,
the Turkatron.
Hunger Force. Turkatron. Yes.
Yep. All right. Thousands of years ago. Welcome to the Rage Slick Podcast, everybody. I am Jeff.
I'm Jason.
What, Jason? You're like a rash on this website this week. You got the asylum and now the podcast. I mean, just
I know.
we're gonna have to make you like a full-time employee at some point here. I mean, this contractor thing just isn't working out. But no.
Okay.
We've passed what in some people's minds is the high watermark of all of the holidays of all of America, and we've now begun the slow descent into Christmas madness.
God help us all.
I saw on social media that you went to like the Halloween store 3 days before Halloween.
Oh, God, fuck me in the fucking face.
Like,
it's horrible.
What? Why? But here's the question: You're a 30 a man in your late 30s. You know better, man.
I do know better. I do know better.
Why in the hell would you do such a thing? Why would you take your life in your hands like that?
So Alice and I have been both very busy, and as you know, we generally have extraordinarily elaborate Halloween costumes. All credit to her. You know, all of our costumes are usually super badass, but we've both been very, very busy. And so we just, did not have time, mainly her. She's the one that does all the work on the costumes. We did not have time to do something elaborate. We had some sort of super cool idea. Maybe we'll get around to it next year. I don't know. But we got invited. We're going to this party and on the night before Halloween. And so it was like, well, I guess we got to have a Halloween costume. Okay. And we were thinking of one thing that we were going to do. Mm-hmm. And I was like, yeah, let's do that. It was she had this mermaid costume, and I was going to be like a drowned pirate.
Oh, I thought you were going to go as like you were going to the Halloween store. I thought for certain that it was like, why doesn't Jason dress up as a slutty Snickers bar, right, for Halloween with one of these horrible.
You need a Snickers. But yeah, I so we were going to do that, and then she's like, yeah, I don't know. I got a better idea. Let's see. And I was like, okay, yeah, let's hear it. So she gave me her idea, and I'm like, okay, that sounds reasonably simple, right? And she tells me what she needs for it, and I decide, and she's like, okay, well, we need to go ahead and order all of the stuff on Amazon and get it like next day. And I'm looking at it, and I'm like, we can find this cheaper, right? We can look at this stuff we need here. It's all like simple staples of Halloween. It's like we can get this at like, the dollar store and stuff like that.
Oh, you were looking for plastic spider rings and candy corns. That was going to be your costume.
on that level.
Okay.
It was like super simple, right? And so first last night, what did we do? We went to Target.
Right.
And that was just a shit-smeared hellscape. Sucked. Really bad.
That's just Target, right? I mean, that's just Target on a weekday.
Not all Target. I thought we were going to go to the Target like where all the rich white people are.
Uh-huh.
But we went to the Target like closer to our neighborhood, where it's very mixed, and people, it's like, flaming trash cans and shit like that. It's the Target.
It's the post-apocalyptic Target.
Yeah, it's the Target we deserve, because it's like our house is the blight on the neighborhood. Let me be clear on that. Okay, it's fucking awful. It's like, mow the grass. Why? Who gives a shit?
Yeah, it's just gonna grow back. Fuck, man.
Exactly. It's like, oh, your lawn is dead. It's like, yeah, I'm not wasting water on my fucking lawn. No. It's like, haven't you heard? There's shit going on with the environment and stuff, and Plus, I don't go outside. But anyway.
I like the way that you segue being lazy about both watering and mowing your lawn into being a good environmentalist. You're like,
dude,
it's just
the environment is justification for my laziness. It's like when I mow, that like spits like fluoride or whatever into the air.
Are you just making this shit up? Man, you don't know the amount of fluorocarbons coming out of this. Like, you're mowing your lawn with the fucking styrofoam lawnmower that runs on, like, I don't know, diesel or something.
Al Gore said so, dude. That's what happened. So no, the Target closest to our house is horrible. So we go in there and there's like this little kid and he's like this little homunculus, which is also the title of my short story available in the anthology Fresh Me 2015 from Sinister Grin Press, available now on Amazon. But he's this little fucking homunculus tearing apart toys like he's trying to murder these toys that he has not paid for. And I'm looking at him and I'm just, I was like a breath away from saying, hey, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like some little 8-year-old. I don't know what. He was just like.
Did he not have his keeper? Was his keeper not with him anywhere? Was he like the feral kid from fucking Road Warrior?
It was like, basically, it was like these like jelly-faced, soulless fucking parents who had just given up on everything. And they were just like, don't do that. Don't do that. And then they went along to their, okay, now we have to find the towels that match the fucking oven mitts or something. When they really should have been tasing their kid and leaving him face down in a fucking ditch.
I can't wait for you to become a parent someday, Jason. I really.
Jesus. You don't let your kid run riot like that. It's God. Because this kid who was like trying to like strangle the Grimlock toy is going to grow up to like knife a sorority girl in the middle of the night. That's what happens. Respect your toys. Anyway. So yeah, we went to Target and we didn't find anything. We found fucking nothing we needed. And I was like, okay, well, there's a dollar store over there. They'll probably have it. It's just, and Allison's getting discouraged. I'm like, let's go to the dollar store. We went to the dollar store, and the dollar store was just this lonely, sad place full of shit that nobody wanted. And so we left, and we went to Michael's, the craft store, the hobby store, you know?
Yeah.
It's like, here's all sorts of things that you make yourself. And I'm like, I don't want to fucking make anything, but that's Allison's jam. So, okay. So we went into Michael's, didn't find anything we needed. And Allison was really discouraged. And she was like, you know what? Just fuck it. We'll figure out something else. And I looked across the parking lot and I'm like, and at this point, for context, everyone should know that Halloween is like 2 days away. Yeah. In fact, our party, this was Wednesday night. The party we're going to is Friday night.
Mm-hmm. And we're recording this on Thursday.
And we're recording this on Thursday. Yeah. And so I'm like, there's a Party City right there. Fittingly, it's right next to a fucking GameStop, like this giant abscess of consumer America. And so we go in there, and Allison has to take me aside and tell me, she's like, listen, like before we go in, she gives me this grave talk. Like
the talk that the parent should have given the kid at Target. Is that what you're saying? You got that from Allison?
She takes me aside and she says, okay, we do not need to go to jail tonight. Okay. You do not need to go to jail tonight. And I'm like, I know. She's like, so just be cool. Okay. She's like, do you want to wait in the car? I'm like, no, I'll go in there. I'll go in. And I mean, I'm not even embellishing this. This is like verbatim what happened.
I find it really interesting because like I've known you guys for so long that there's times when you tell your wife we don't need to go to jail tonight, and there are some times that your wife has to remind you not to go to jail tonight. I figure like if you two were both single, you'd have been in jail a long time ago without each other to calm the other one down from time to time.
Well, you know what's going to happen. There's going to come a time when both of us say, fuck everything, let's kill people. And I'm going to be like, goddamn right, sweetheart, Mickey and Mallory, let's do this.
The day that it all finally unravels, and you're just like, that's it, everybody dies.
Yeah. And I got to tell you, Party City was, I'm glad she gave me that talk beforehand, because it was indescribably bad. It was so bad. And fortunately, she found what she needed. We got out of there right away. And at this point, I don't even care what the costume looks like. I'm just glad that there were no casualties at all.
But see, the thing is that at least you went to Party City, which is an established store that is there all year round. One year when, oh my God, I don't even know what the fuck I was thinking. But one
you
year,
went to Fiesta Town?
No, I went to Spirit. Fucking what's it called?
Spirit Halloween store.
Yeah, the Halloween store, which is one of these. Yeah. I mean, I don't know if you guys have this all over the place. I know we have listeners that are in other countries, but here in the United States, like there will be these Halloween stores will pop up like 30 days before Halloween, and they just rent whatever they can find, like a taco truck or a ditch or a burned down Taco Bell.
They're like hermit crabs.
Yeah, and they boom, like this store just opens and they stock it with all this shit. They're basically open until everything is gone, and it is like you didn't even describe the inside of Party City, but I've been inside Spirit stores multiple years. These places are like, I don't even know how to describe them. It's like they set them up with the expectation that they're like, all right, is everything all set up? All right, now open the doors, and once everything has been torn down and set on fire, then we'll close and for the year, and we'll come back next year when they build another,
Yeah. It's like run by like gypsies. And I know that's often considered like a slur or whatever, but it's the word that everyone knows what I'm talking about whenever I use it. They just kind of roam into town and they're like, hey, we'll put all our Halloween shit in this husk of retail in this strip mall.
Right.
And and everything's overpriced. But then the day after Halloween, it's like,
it's free. It's free. They just throw it out all on the street. They're just like, I don't know, whatever.
Yes. You go in there and you're like, okay, here's a couple of like really shitty wigs and some fingernails and like a Dr. Evil mask that's been there since like 97.
Yeah, I mean, like they have I forget, like the entire store is plastered with signs that are like, you cannot return anything ever, so go fuck yourself. And
yes.
They pretty much say just that, because I'm sure that they're just like, every stupid asshole in the world is like, tee-hee, I'm going to go buy the $100 pirate costume and then bring it back tomorrow. But
it's like the Halloween equivalent of a fireworks stand.
Yeah. And I mean, they might have like 2 costumes in the entire place that cost more than about $20, and they're all just the most horrible. They're all that just the cheapest, like spandex, and none of it ever fits right. But
foam
and oh god, and like just horrible masks. But see, I did. Oh, Jason, I think that you would have gone to jail, and it's only because I'm so goddamn uptight that I didn't go to jail. I was getting close. I went to the Spirit store at like 6:30 p.m. on Halloween to get a costume one year. And
you poor bastard.
And I'll tell you right now, spoil the end of this story. I walked out of that store without a costume because there was literally a line just to check out that was like some Black Friday bullshit. It was like some waiting to get to Franklin's barbecue, like I've been in line for 6 hours kind of crap.
Yeah. I'm imagining you like stepping out of the store like hours later, and your clothes are torn, and you're bloodied, and you're like all like stubble on your head because you haven't shaved, like you've been in there for a week, and you have no recollection of what happened in the store. It's like December, and
like some guy comes up
smeared in blood and shit.
He's like, "Oh man, that's a great costume." It's not a costume. Don't go in there, man.
You got PTSD.
They're animals. I went in there, and like, first of all, the thing that you should know is that like there was nothing left. Like even the crappy costumes were gone at this point, because it was just like, hey, bro, you want to go downtown and get drunk? Like, yeah, we need a costume. Let's go. Like, what do they got left? Big bag of M&Ms and like a Georgia O'Keeffe painting. And it'd be like, yeah, all right, that's fine. Give me both of those. Let's get the fuck out of here.
It's not even like a bag of M&M's costume. It's actually a giant bag of M&M's that you like dip your junk into, and you're like, this is what I got.
What are you supposed to be? I'm candy, I guess. I don't know. Check out my candy. Yeah. So, yeah. But then, last year, I bought my priest outfit from the nice Christians. I mean, like, I went to the Christian store and bought a priest habit.
What are you talking about, the Christian store?
Did I tell you this last year? I think I told you this last year. Okay, so the day of Halloween last year when we went to
You mean Hobby Lobby?
No. Like in Austin, I had looked this up a couple years previously. In Austin, on Burnett Road, like kind of down south, there is a store that sells like supplies for Catholics. Like they sell big packs of the communion wafers, and they sell like the sashes, and they sell all, and it's Christian store. It's a Christian rock and blah blah blah. So I waltzed my happy ass in there last Halloween, like, hey man, I want one of them priest things. I don't know, the thing that the priest wears. And they were like, oh, okay. And I was like, yeah, I need a Halloween costume or whatever. And they were just like, oh.
Yeah, I'm a fucking priest of Dongacles, deal with it.
yeah. I'm like, no, I just want to buy one. And they're like, over here. I mean, I looked at them. They had some in there that were like $3,000 that had all this fucking stitching and shit on them. Right. Like for the Pope, like if you wanted to just go buy actual Pope gear, you could go do that. But yeah, they weren't super, super happy to see me. I mean, I'm pretty sure I wasn't wearing a Slayer T-shirt, but I'm not 100% on that. So.
Well, that means you're ordained now. You found the loophole. They're like, well, I guess this guy's a priest.
That's
Did
right.
it come with like a 7-year-old boy as well?
It came with a coupon. I have to mail in. It's like the back of a comic book, right?
Oh, okay.
6 to 8 weeks for delivery.
Great.
Well, I tell you what,
Fiddler's Discount.
That's terrible. That's the new Guns N' Roses album, right? Diddler's Discount. That's
Yes, you released in 2030.
All right, well, we've got a crap load of news here, but before we started, I was thinking, Jason, do you have, you were kind of the person that I know that has maybe the best, you spend a lot of time on Netflix watching decent to good to pretty crappy horror movies that come out, just so that you could say, I've seen all of the horror movies on all of Netflix.
I'm not as diligent about it, but I've been watching a lot this month. I've been watching a lot of them.
Do you have anything to tell to our audience? Any good recommendations?
2 of them, actually. And I mean, there's probably more on there, but these are the ones that are new to me, newish, I guess. And I've mentioned one of the first one on Twitter before. I recommend it to anyone who will listen. It's a found footage film. Hear me out. It's called The Taking of Deborah Logan.
Okay.
And the way I discovered this, I was laying in bed and I was like, I'm going to watch something on my iPad. Let's pull up a horror film. Okay, this will probably suck. I've never heard of it. Play. And it turns out it was fucking incredible.
Okay.
It was so good. Not even like good for a Netflix movie you've never heard of. Yeah. Not even good for a found footage film. It was a damn good movie. Like the best acting I have ever seen in a found footage film.
Wow.
And some seriously scary shit.
Cool.
Like there was a scene where I was like, Jesus Christ. and like weeks later, Allison watched it on her own, and I heard her say essentially the same thing from the other room. And I went in there and I was like, yep, that scene. Yep. So The Taking of Deborah Logan. Very good. Another one, spooky film, Spanish language, that just kind of came out of nowhere. Actually, I saw it on a couple of lists, like the horror films on Netflix that you've never seen but should, or something like that. You know, I don't know. But it's called The House at the End of Time. Okay. And it's one of those where you think you know what's going on, but you really don't.
Okay. Cool.
So yeah, check those 2 out.
Okay. I wish that I could tell people that I had a recommendation for them, I think, but I I just watch the movies that you tell me to watch. So that's
yeah.
I don't have a whole hell of a lot else to say about that. In fact,
no, I've been watching a lot of horror films, and I've usually been posting them mostly on my Instagram account.
What are you, a 14-year-old girl? Come on.
I've been posting a lot of stuff on there, man.
Yeah, it was funny. I was actually thinking before we were going to get ready to do today's podcast, I was listening to the This American Life on NPR, and they were like, here's a bunch of spooky stories. And so I thought, oh, that'll be cool. We can have a podcast, and before we get to the game news, Jason and I could tell our spooky stories. And I don't know about you, but then I started like mentally going down the course of my entire life, and I was like, I don't got anything. Like, I don't have anything that's like, I was walking down the street one night when it was dark.
Like stuff that actually happened to you?
Yeah. I mean, like, yeah. Like,
yeah.
I was just trying
I've got like one, I think.
Yeah. And I was like, no, it's all existential ennui and stupidity when I've been drunk. There's nothing that's actually scary that's ever happened to me. It's like,
and then Jeff posted a mopey video on Facebook.
Ooh. yeah, exactly. That doesn't exactly work, but well, I tell you what. Why don't we save the spooky stories for another day? Because Sony had a big old thing this week or last week in Paris where they did. I feel like they skipped Gamescom this year and instead did this, and they just put out a shitload of trailers. So many so that we're probably going to have to kind of put the fast forward button on just to get through them all without this being a 4-hour long fucking podcast. But Jason, you proposed that we play a little game.
We're going to play a game, Jeff. Would you like to play a game?
No, I don't want to. And then he's like, oh, I'm sorry.
You can go.
No, we're going to play I'm going to say the name of a game trailer because you didn't get to watch all of these trailers. I'm going to say the name of a trailer that you're going to give me a brief synopsis of what's going on in it.
And then you will tell me whether you think I actually watched the trailer or not.
Okay. All right. This sounds like a very convoluted game.
Because no. It's you say, okay, Jason, game X. And I say, I give you the description of the game and my impressions of the trailer.
Okay.
And then you say whether or not I actually watched the trailer or not.
Okay, well let's do a little test run here with the easiest one on this entire list, which is Uncharted 4.
It's easy.
A Thief's End.
You want to keep score, or do you want me to keep score?
You keep score.
I will keep score. Okay. So Uncharted 4. I am really excited by what I saw here.
Okay.
Nate and Sully bouncing around, very dynamic, very, very dynamic trailer that was mostly, if not all, gameplay. They were bouncing around, like, tossing weapons and clips to each other, I think, and like lots of swinging. It was all multiplayer. It was really excited. It was really exciting, but it was also hard for me to follow because I'm old and slow. I dug it.
Okay, I'm going to go with yes, you did watch that trailer.
I did indeed watch that trailer. That is 1 point for Jeff. 1 point for Jeff.
So you get a point if I don't guess correctly?
Yes, that is correct.
Okay. This actually looks, I know that all the previous Uncharted games have had multiplayer in them. I've never played them much more than just like, hey, let's see what this is like. I think
the only time we played them was like on a loading bar episode or something.
Probably Uncharted 3 when that came out. Maybe you looked at some of the multiplayer for that. I mean, I like the way that the little Batman grapple hook shot thing plays into the trailer. I like the idea that it really seems to add a different dimension of verticality, like coming in at people from overhead. And then the multiplayer trailer, it seemed like the entire team that was being featured in that trailer was like, it was just everybody that's been in an Uncharted game that's been a good guy. Like, it's like
right. Yeah.
Nate and Elena and Sully and Nate's brother from the new one and fucking what's-her-face, Claudia Black. And there's some lady with a bunch of tattoos screaming and running at people. I don't remember who that is. But, it looks...
It seems like they're putting more work and thought into the multiplayer now.
I mean, I think that I wish I could magically pop Aaron in here for 5 minutes because I know that he's a real big fan of that multiplayer.
Yeah, or our friend Sancho West.
Oh, okay. Is he as well?
You know him by another name, but
oh no,
yeah.
I know who you're talking about. He's a big fan of the multiplayer.
Oh, dude, that's almost exclusively what he does is Uncharted and Last of Us.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I want to get his take on it because this seems to me like they're really stepping it up. I could be wrong because I haven't played Uncharted multiplayer in a while, but this seems like they're really kind of working harder to make it like a full-fledged feature rather than an afterthought.
I see. I think that if we could go back to the game for a second, I think that that's very telling because I think that shows that you probably haven't played much of the Uncharted multiplayer because as far as I can tell, it's always been very full-featured. They support it for a while.
Okay.
I mean, it's I don't feel like it's ever been like everything that Naughty Dog does. It's never been like some kind of garbage add-on where they're like, I don't know, put multiplayer in it. Maybe people will keep playing that.
I do have one complaint. And this is really about the entire thing. Mm-hmm. You sent me a link. Okay, so I'm gonna talk to everybody directly, not you. I'm gonna talk to everybody else.
I'll close my ears and go la la la.
No, you can listen. No, you need to listen.
Oh, okay, all right.
But I'm talking to everybody else. So Jeff says, "Hey, do you want to do the podcast with me?" I'm like, "Yes, I can only do it Thursday, but yeah, I'll do it. Let's start at 4. Okay, great." I'm going to send you some stuff. There was the Paris Games Week, so we can talk about this. I'm going to send you this link. So basically, Jeff says, "Hey, do you want to do this for me and be on this?" I was like, "Yeah, sure. Okay, here's some fucking homework." And I was like, all right, fine." And so no homework. And then like 30 goddamn minutes before we record, Jeff's like, "Oh, here's fucking 15 videos for you to watch."
Yep.
So that's why I didn't watch all of them. I watched several of them, right? Mm-hmm. And every one of them had a lengthy, unskippable commercial before it.
True.
Fuck you very much, GameSpot.
Yep. Yeah,
every one of them. And it was like the same 3 commercials over and over.
Yeah. How many times did you hear "Sweet Emotion" in the Uncharted trailer?
That is my point. That is my fucking point.
It's like, I thought that was in the bylaws that you will never make me listen to Aerosmith ever on this website.
God damn it. Okay, so I was going to purchase the Nathan Drake collection. Mm-hmm. Right? I was going to get that. I was going to buy it because I actually sold recently to half price books my Uncharted games on the PS3. Mm-hmm. Because I was going to get the Nate Drake collection.
Right.
That had all of them remastered and better looking and all that. Yeah, why not? Well, I'll tell you why not. Because he used Aerosmith's Sweet Fucking Emotion during the goddamn trailer. It's like, Aerosmith, really?
I like it. That's
God, I hate Aerosmith.
Such a sticking point that you're just like, so go fuck yourself. I don't care how good your games are. 2 minutes of Aerosmith and I'm out.
I might not even play Uncharted 4 at this point because fucking Aerosmith. Fuck you. What are the closing credits to Uncharted 4 going to be? Don't want to miss a thing, like it's goddamn fucking Armageddon or something.
Oh God, I hope so. I want you to Vine that shit when it happens too.
Yeah, let me get my animal crackers. So no, in everyone, it was all these fucking trailers. So I just gave up. I'm like, no, I'm not doing this anymore.
Yeah,
but that was my that ruined. Okay, so here's what I give to the trailer for the Uncharted multiplayer. Thumbs down. Thumbs down.
Because of the format, because of the website that I sent you to.
Because of the Uncharted trailer.
Because of
because of the Nathan Drake collection. Because of Aerosmith. Thumbs down to all things Uncharted. Fuck Steven Tyler. Fuck Nathan Drake.
Also, The Last of Us, Naughty Dog, everything you've ever done. You're all dead to me.
All of you. My friend Rob, who works for Naughty Dog, who I'm gonna text him and just be like, Rob, did did you put that song in the trailer? Because next time I'm in Santa Monica, kicking you right in the balls.
All right. Well, let's move on from there to No Man's Sky.
No Man's Sky.
Would you like to tell me what happens in the trailer for No Man's Sky?
It's very exciting. There's lots of space. No Man's Sky. It's very colorful. Space travel.
Yeah.
Rutger Hauer, all because of his speech at the end of Blade Runner, like Tears in the Rain. That whole speech, he kind of teases that, and it's like, okay, yeah, dude, I get it. You need work. Hey, remember this thing you really liked me for? Well, here's something real similar for his Blade Runner speech, you know. So, No Man's Sky, it looks cool. Procedurally generated space exploration thing. Hopefully it will be exciting and fun. It could be a goddamn travesty. I don't know.
I think it's going to be a goddamn travesty.
Jeff, did I watch the trailer?
I believe you did, because
I did indeed.
Because I don't know who that voiceover was. I wasn't able to identify that was Rutger Hauer. So I'm like, oh wow, you know more about this than I do. But
no. As soon as I heard it, I was like, wait, is he going to do the Tears in the Rain speech? Because that's what it sounded. It's like, is that where you're going with this, Rutger?
It's
like, okay.
You know what? I said before that I'm not going to keep talking about this game until it comes out. Come out already, No Man's Sky. That's the only thing to mention. June of next year. It's finally got a fucking release date. So.
Oh yeah, I saw that. God, it seems like forever, right?
Well, it was only announced last year, if I remember correctly.
Okay, because it seems like 2012, No Man's Sky is announced. You know, that's what it feels like to me. But I'm looking forward to it. I want to check it out.
I'm reserving any future. I will not get any more excited unless they show me something that I haven't seen before, which they're not doing. And if they continue to keep showing me the exact same thing they've shown me, they're actually detracting from my excitement, because it's just like, yes, I know. It would be like if the new Star Wars trailer last week was just the same footage from the teaser before, but in a different order with a slightly different voiceover.
Yes. Yeah. I didn't really see anything where I was like, oh, this is exciting and new and really makes me want this game. It's like, oh, okay, so this is de rigueur. This is what we've seen before. And it's all very pretty. It's all very tantalizing. But, hey, Rutger Hauer, if you're a child of the 80s... then you're going to get excited because, hey, the guy from Split Second and Blind Fury is back.
God damn it. I was just about to make a Split Second joke, you asshole.
Too late. I saw it in the theater, motherfucker, like opening weekend. There were like 5 people there, and they were all my friends.
Was he was fat in that movie, right? That was after he gained a bunch of weight. He was wearing like
him being fat in that. Was he?
Like
I don't know.
He was wearing a big trench coat to cover up all of his fats.
Yes. And the main monster in Split Second, I remember, this is what stands out the most for me, because I haven't seen it since like opening weekend because it was shit. But I remember the main monster, I saw him and I'm like, holy shit, they just ripped off Venom. He just looked like a low budget Venom.
Like the Marvel Comics character?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah.
I could be wrong because, this was like 20 goddamn years ago, so whatever.
Okay. All right, well, next up we have Gran Turismo Sport. Turismo Sport.
Gran Turismo Sport. Okay. Did I watch this trailer?
There's no way to know, Jason. I have. Why don't you tell me, and then I'll tell you whether or not. But I
am. So racing games, I know that they're not very dynamic as far as what kind of graphics and everything that they need to show. But I will say that every time you see a realistic racing game like Forza or Gran Turismo, they are always stunning with their realism. And you see something, and I like the last Forza game, I saw it and I was like, wow, this is a replication of reality, or a replica of reality. This looks real. Mm-hmm. And now I'm saying, no, this Gran Turismo looks real. This is gorgeous. This looks like amazing. It looks incredible. But there was a stunning lack of gameplay in this. It kept like cutting back to these like family playing the game and like guy like putting a helmet on and shit.
Yeah, I like that part of the I'm gonna go ahead and say you did watch it because what you're describing is in there. But
start picking them out of order.
Okay, all right. I'll start randomizing. Yeah, there was one weird part of it where it was like for ages 7 to 77, and it was like, yeah, it's a racing game, man. If you're into racing, it's I guess
also old people shouldn't be allowed to drive. If you're over the age of 60, you turn in your fucking car keys if you're listening right now, okay? Nana,
just throw them out on the street, just throw them out the window, just somewhere.
You are not allowed to drive anymore.
Yeah, I feel like we got 2 in a row that I'm a little meh about, but you know, it looks really good. But you've been able to say that of every single. There's never been a Gran Turismo game where you just go, "Well, that looks like shit." I mean, it's it looks real good. There's a bunch of cars. They're driving around. It looks like really good. So,
I just want one of them to come out and it's like, is this pole position? or it's like it's just footage from RC Pro-Am.
You know what I want is I really want the team. I want Polifani Digital that makes Gran Turismo to make any other game, to make a different genre, because they seem to be really good at making really cutting edge, good looking graphics. So why don't you make me a I don't know, World War I game or
it could very well be like, you know, there are those comic book artists out there where it's like, oh man, they draw whatever, like they draw tanks really well and giant robots. They look great. Mm-hmm. And then you look at like their people and it's really shitty. And it's just like, oh, all of their people look like Cthulhu.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So
okay, well, let's go ahead. We'll skip around a little bit. Let's go to... I have to actually make a list now so I can tell which ones I've done and which ones I haven't done. Wild.
You're winning, though. You're winning. You got 3-0.
Okay.
Jeff.
All right. Wild. What do you think about Wild, Jason?
Wild. Wild is... okay. Let me... I'm going to get to the description because I did read all of the descriptions, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to get to the description. And Wild, from the Rayman creator, mm-hmm. right?
Yeah.
And it's open world. I thought it was just so fun. It was really adorable, right? I mean, it was mostly death-free. You know, you collect a lot of stuff. It's really colorful. The main character has just a lot of personality. It seems like just something like the whole family could play, and you could pick it up and play it for a bit and put it down. It was a good time.
Mm-hmm. I think you did watch this trailer, but you're trying to punk me out.
You are incorrect. I did not watch this trailer.
I should have known. Should have known because it was 7 minutes long. Yeah, this is actually like really cool looking. We've had some teasing of this before, but it looks like this is kind of like you kind of not a little bit maybe beyond. No, kind of caveman type stuff where you're playing as a shaman to a local village, and the premise of the trailer is that one of your villager people has gotten bitten by a snake. You got to go bang the snake god in order to figure out like how to fix her or whatever.
Oh man, if I had a nickel for every time I had to bang the snake god.
Yo, don't come in here. I'm banging the snake god. But they show like the main thing here seemed to be that the main character, this shaman, was able to summon animals and then possess them and use them to do different things, and that was really cool. Like he gets a bird to find some snakes, and then he like summons a bear and he rides it around. Even though I'm like, I don't like bears, but
it's like a cute platform game though.
No, oh God, no! It's like third person, gritty, out in the wild. In fact, like later on, as they're getting close to the snake god's lair, there's like a bunch of cannibals that are having like a cannibal party where they're just like, woo.
Oh shit, I love me some cannibals, son.
Yeah, so the main character actually possesses a rabbit to go find a bunch of ravens, and then or crows, and then has all the crows like descend on these cannibals and like get them all distracted and shit. And then he like comes in with his bear and starts fucking shit up bear style, son. Smack, smack, smack. And then all the bears.
Dude, this sounds awesome.
Yeah, then all the cannibals run away, and then he goes to the snake goddess's lair, and like this giant lady that's like kind of half snake and half lady comes out of the ground and lays down.
Like in The Golden Child.
Yeah, with the giant lady boobs out, got the scales, and she's like, I don't think you know what you're asking, man. Kind of goes to like hit him with her little claw hands, and then it was over. And I was like, damn, that looks awesome. I totally want to play that.
Right on.
Yeah.
Okay.
As I think it's been a while since we've seen anything from what's the guy's name? It's like Marcus Ansel or something like that. The guy that made Rayman. I don't know. Could be wrong.
It sounds completely unlike Rayman.
Yeah. That's definitely the takeaway here, is that it is really nothing at all like Rayman. But yeah,
maybe they should not use that as a selling point.
Yeah, if the guy's hands were to come off and free float like where his arms were, it would be horrifying in this game. He'd be like, I mean, it's already. Let's all be real clear here. It's already fairly horrifying when Rayman does it. I mean, it's only this side of not horrifying when Rayman does that shit. Or I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but I look at Rayman and I'm just like, no, not right. Where are your arms, bitch?
I wish he was all fleshy and like realistic though. That would make it like super creepy.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's move on next to. How about Riggs Mechanized Combat League?
Yeah, okay. I'm really excited for this one. Oh, the score, by the way, is Jeff 3, Jason 1.
Yeah.
Riggs Mechanized Combat League. This, a lot of people don't know this is actually based off of the plot for Lethal Weapon 9. Mm-hmm. Which they haven't made yet. It is about Martin Riggs, from the Los Angeles Police Department, and it's a cyborg Mel Gibson, and he, in order to rescue cyborg Danny Glover.
Mm-hmm. They're both cyborgs. Both of the Lethal Weapon guys
they're both. Yeah, okay. Well, yeah, they're both cyborgs.
Okay,
and he is forced into some gladiatorial type games with other cyborgs in space, because Danny Glover wanted some implants so that he would not in fact be too old for this shit.
Oh, some youth implants.
So he got the cybernetic implants. Yeah, he got all sorts of cyber stuff, and they're like, well, now you have to pay off this expensive alien technology. You have to play in the games, and so they took him to a space station. And so now Martin Riggs, cyborg Mel Gibson, goes to rescue Danny Glover. I'm really excited about it.
No, you did not watch this trailer.
That is correct, sir. How did you know?
Because this is some dumb... I mean, you're actually kind of close. Like, I don't know. You probably didn't get this far into the whole E3 thing, but this is one of those PlayStation VR games where you got a bunch of guys. They're dressed like they're in NASCAR 30-30 outfits with, like, sponsorships and stuff on them. But then they're driving around these huge, brightly colored mechs to shoot each other in, like, it's an arena-based mech combat game. So you were orbiting. You were coming to within the gravitational pull of actually describing the game there for a second. But this is going to be obviously a game for PlayStation VR, and if I know my games from years past, this strikes me as one of those things where it's like they had an idea, they've got the technology, they're making the game. It'll be something that's a nifty way to show off the PlayStation VR, but nobody's going to continue to play this. I don't think that Riggs Mechanized Combat League is going to be like, oh my god, like, oh, fuck Call of Duty. We're all playing Riggs these days, right? Halo, just fuck yourself, Halo. Everybody's playing Riggs. Nobody's playing that bullshit anymore. We've all got our VR headsets. Yeah. So, all right, from there, we're going to move on to Detroit Become Human. Jason.
Okay. So, Detroit Become Human should be called Detroit, Everything is Shit.
Mm-hmm.
Or Detroit, people shouldn't live here, so let's let robots live here instead. Looks very pretty from the guys that made Call Jason Simulator or the Jason Orgasm Simulator.
Right.
Or yeah, whatever. I don't know. I was going somewhere with that, but I've had a lot of vodka, so whatever.
Okay.
From Quantic Dream.
Mm-hmm.
Did I get that right? Okay. Yeah. And those people, so it's going to be like some little stories. It's very iRobot. People making with the robots and being robots and who's a robot and who's not. Do the robot. But in Detroit.
I'm gonna say yes. You did watch this one.
I did watch this one. You're ahead 5-1.
This is this is the sequel to you. Do you remember this? I mean, did you catch that from when you were watching the trailer? That like Quantic Dream, when they were, how they always have like this weird tech demo that they put out. They had the one before, I believe it was before Beyond Two Souls, that was like a wizard, and he was trying to do this scene, and then all the special effects kept breaking down. And it was all this like motion capture.
I don't remember that at all.
Okay. Before that, there was one called Kara that was the beginning part of this trailer. It was like this guy, and he was putting together this lady robot. It's when she comes in, and she's all doesn't have any skin, and they put her together, and they put the Leeloo Dallas multipass around her so you can't see her boobs. And then she spins around, and she's like, "Huzzah! I'm Kara. I'm so happy." And then it's like this voice that's like, "Oh, you know who you are?" And she's like, "Oh yes, I want to go butterflies and stuff." And it's like, "All right, well, I'm gonna drop you into the incinerator now." And she's like, "No, I don't want to die." And then he's like, okay, fine." And then puts her in the big action figure package and ships her out into the world. So they actually decided to make that into a whole game instead of just leaving it as one of their dumb Quantic Dream tech demos.
All right. Truth time.
Yeah.
I've never played a Quantic Dream game.
Well, lucky you, because they're decent, but no, actually you played Beyond Two Souls with Grant, I believe.
Oh yeah, on a dojo. I don't count that. Yeah. Maybe that's why I've never played a Quantic Dream game.
Well, you went to the girls' birthday party. I remember that was the episode where you guys
I remember
Ellen Page to the birthday party. But this trailer looks really interesting and creative and cool. Unfortunately, fucking David Cage has burned me like 5 times. So like, I know it's going to be walking around Detroit and holding down 4 buttons and doing a bunch of quick time events in order to have some stupid philosophical conversation about what does it mean to be truly alive. And it's like, fuck it, I don't care. Do you think you're alive? Fine, you're alive. Everything's alive. I'm done having this conversation.
Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me 5 times, I'm Jeff.
No, I'm actually going beyond Detroit Become Human to like all games, animations, album covers, novels, and stories from here on out about what does it truly mean to be human. I don't care anymore. Like, do you want to be human? Fine, you're human. Oh, you're a robot? That's fine. You're human too. I don't give a fuck. Sentient gas? You're a human. Everybody's a human. Raccoons are humans. It's all cows are humans, and I'm a cannibal, and I don't give a fuck anymore because I'm just so tired of this ponderous, like, I don't know. But anyway, the trailer was really, really nifty. I liked all the little robots watching her walk around doing her thing. Oh, that was pretty cool.
Yeah, it was very pretty. And it was, I don't know, I kind of like the parallel of, all right, hang on, I gotta.
All right, well, that was fun. Sorry, folks, we had a little bit of a technical difficulty, which I'm sure that some of you may have already heard by now, but we should be back on track. So, Detroit Become Human, yeah, it's going to be a Quantic Dream game. I really think that Quantic Dream needs to hire a different developer to do the actual gameplay part of their game, and that they just make the visuals, because, well, I don't know. They're not action games. So if that's what you're looking for, they're not that. And even like Beyond Two Souls had some action in it, but it was kind of like Anyway, we got to. Oh my God, we have so many more things left to go. Like we got to finish this, and then we've got like 4 other stories before we're done with the news. So, boom, Robinson the Journey. What do you think, Jason?
Robinson the Journey. I'm actually very excited. As is Matt Frank. Matt Frank gives it 12 stars out of a possible 4. The main character shipwrecked. It's a beautiful game. Crytek. So that should speak for itself. Robinson Crusoe, shipwrecked. He's on a journey across an island. There are dinosaurs and virtual reality. So all of those things to me say win.
Yep, like it seems like the beginning is you've got your little like ghost cousin, the cousin of like the Peter Dinklage bot from Destiny, and he's like, let's play a game. It's called Don't Get Stepped On, and you just go weaving in and out of like brontosaurus feet, which seems like a really bad idea. It's kind of one of those. Jason, it kind of reminds me of that scene of Prometheus where the thing is rolling towards him. It's like, dude, just run to one side. Like, why do you keep running back into where the brontosauruses are? Also, at the end, if I'm not mistaken, did that T-Rex have devil horns?
I have a question for you, Jeff.
Okay.
Did I watch the trailer?
I believe you did.
I did not.
You did not.
No, sir. I read the description and I was like, dinosaurs, Crytek. Ooh, I bet it's pretty. 1 point, Jason. So dinosaur devil horns, though. Go on.
I mean, you can kind of see it. You kind of see it if you're looking at that same page that I sent you in the thumbnail for it. The way the T-Rex is down there, it looks like he's got like not devil horns, but they're like the horns that are going back out of his head. Like horns that are going backwards out of the T-Rex skull, like towards where his body is. It was just, I don't know. I swear to God, it looked like that. It was so weird looking. In any case, I think that when PlayStation VR comes out, I still have yet to see anything that is going to be like a full-fledged game. Is this Robinson game looks like? I mean, I don't know. Who knows? We've seen all of 2 minutes of it.
Right now it's all just them, like, fluffing their feathers and showing off the tech, right?
Right. But that's I keep coming back to this, and I'm not going to spend that much time on it because we're already, but they need games. They need like full-fledged AAA, fully created video games for people to play on these things, not just like a 10-minute experience or a 2-hour experience. They need like games. Like,
correct.
You put this shit on it for 8 hours and play games on it, not just like, oh, well, that was a fun roller coaster.
They need, at the risk of adopting the jargon of like 5 years ago, a killer app.
Yes. In fact, I have this is so far down the list of things, and there's going to be plenty of people to tell me why this would never happen. But I keep waiting for Valve to announce that Half-Life 3 is going to have like a whole bunch of boosted gameplay elements if you play it on their VR headset. Like announce, like that would be a reason to put Half-Life 3 out, to be like, hey, look, we created a VR helmet, and if you play Half-Life 3 with our VR helmet, it's the smoothest VR game of all time, and it looks incredible. That would be a way that you could definitely push that kind of hardware. Anyway, moving on. Next up, how about Bloodborne, the Old Hunters, Jason?
Bloodborne is the trailer looked pretty fucked up.
Yeah.
That was they're continuing with that dark, quasi Lovecraftian Victorian, like let's take Dark Souls and switch it over to this setting, but expanding the universe a bit more. I don't know. I mean, I didn't play Bloodborne, but it seems like, I don't know if I would have liked playing it, but I think I would have liked maybe watching you play through it.
Yeah.
And like reading about the lore. If there was a Bloodborne novel, maybe I would read that, if most novels based on video games weren't shit. So yeah, I don't know. If you're a fan of Bloodborne, you're probably going to like this because this is more of the same, right?
I'm going to say you didn't watch this trailer.
That I did or did not?
Did not.
I did not. You are correct, sir.
Yeah. Because you're just spouting a bunch of generic Bloodborne nonsense. Which is funny because this trailer actually has less in it than the Bloodborne The Old Hunters trailer that they showed at, I believe it was E3 this year.
I didn't even know that was a thing.
Yep.
I didn't even know. No clue.
I have a feeling that if you had watched the trailer, you would have commented on the giant fucking saw blade that the dude had and the thing with two faces that comes oozing out at him. But
Okay, yeah. Now I'm going to want to go back and watch it, actually.
Yep. Actually, it's funny you say, like, I'd like to watch you play it. I'd like to read some stuff about it. Well, you know that, like, in the Patreon email I send you every week, John and I played the entire goddamn thing, and...
Yeah, no, I know. It's just I've got shit to do. I think I've watched you play. I said that theoretically. I've watched you play enough video games. I don't ever actually want to watch you play another goddamn video game ever.
That's fair. That's fair. I don't want to really watch me play video games. In fact, that's the way that can we go back and I don't know if it just comes off as incredibly narcissistic when I'm editing the videos where I could like go parse through the videos and look at them, but I'm just like, oh, I don't want to see me doing this shit again. I have to hear me talking about stuff. All right, moving on. Gravity Rush 2. What do you think? Gravity Rush 2.
Gravity Rush 2, very exciting. It also, very Japanese. It's a Vita game, which I didn't know they were still making Vita games, so that's exciting. But that's on me. It's not the Vita's fault. All of the zipping and bouncing around in anti-gravity was exciting. And fighting very Japanese monsters, that was also cool. Yes, I probably won't play it, but it looks cool.
I'm going to say, yeah, you did watch this one.
God damn it, you're good at this. You're good at this game, Jeff.
Yeah. I mean, this is actually coming out on the PlayStation 4 as well as the Vita. The original Gravity Rush being a Vita game that was kind of this third-person puzzle/action game about anti-gravity and flipping around upside down and doing stuff. And this was announced. I can't remember where this was announced at, like Leipzig, or if this was at E3 this year. No, it wasn't that. It was past. It was sometime past that when it got originally announced. Anyway, in any case, it is looking good, and I can't wait to play it. So there we go.
Yeah, I watched it, and I immediately started vomiting from the let's play with perspective and everything. It was like playing. It wasn't quite as bad, which is weird because a lot of games. Most games haven't really tapped into the original Descent, like you have no idea which way is up, right?
It's funny that you mentioned that because there's actually a new Descent that came out in early access like last week or something. I think it was kickstarted. Might be mistaken about that, but for all of the advancements that we've made in video games, it does seem like most games like to keep both feet on the ground.
Yeah.
So, all right. Next up, how about Boundless? Can you tell me
Boundless.
Boundless.
Very cool. I'm exceptionally curious about this because Alice and I play Minecraft a lot, and this is a Minecraft-esque game, only prettier. So they're eschewing the blocky mechanics of it all. Yeah, any sort of procedurally generated thing where you can go around and just kind of use your imagination to create whatever world you like, I'm down.
Yes. Did watch?
Did not.
Did not.
You fail. Fuck you.
You're so happy about that.
I'm very happy.
I was teetering on the edge because you didn't mention the giant portals that are in the game that you can use to transition between different areas at the drop of a hat. In fact, they show a large city area that's full of these little claymation monsters that looks like your guys are based on, where there's a whole series of portals that are set up that can instantly traverse you to different parts of the game world. So instead of having to build a compass and spend 6 billion years, Minecraft, trying to figure out how to get back to your house when you get lost, you could just go through a portal and go to a different part of the land. The thing that was very strange about it, though, was that everything is still very blocky. Like they were showing areas where it's just like, oh, look, it's Minecraft because it's all individual squares like Minecraft is. And I feel like nobody's managed to get around that yet. Like there's some voxel-based Minecraft clones where they kind of try to smooth that stuff out, but then it still just ends up being like you're punching these giant holes in the ground, and they're just slightly more irregularly shaped than a square. But I don't know. It looks interesting. I mean, I have a feeling. I'm not. Jason, can you think of a good reason why anybody would want to rip off Minecraft? Because it's Minecraft.
Money.
Yeah, but it's Minecraft. Like, if you want to play Minecraft, why don't you just play Minecraft? I'm going to say Minecraft 4 more times. Minecraft.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's a lot. You know, a lot of people out there might think, oh, I can improve on that, and maybe they can because Minecraft does have some very primitive graphics and everything. So maybe they think, oh, well, I'm going to take this but make it prettier or something like that. I don't know. Yeah, maybe something like that, but I don't know. Is there room for anything to take the place of such a juggernaut?
I don't think so. I mean, I think that it's got the momentum at this point that, I mean, you could definitely make some rip-off stuff, but I'm not sure why. All right. You know what, Jason? We are now so far over time that we got to kick this shit into high gear. So
all right.
I gotta put an end to the game. We just got to run down this list as fast as possible. Woo!
Congratulations!
Yay!
Woo!
I get all the. What do I get?
You get a swift kick in the nuts.
Yay! My favorite prize.
Woo, good for you.
Okay. Did you watch the trailer for Dreams?
I did.
Okay, good, because I did not. This game, I'm like, don't know how I feel about it, but it always seems to be every time I watch one of the trailers, they're just like, and you get to make all of your own gameplay, and I'm just like, dude, fuck you. That's not why I came here.
Yeah, I don't know. They're kind of mashing it up, so I still can't really tell what's going on with it. Their whole thing was, yeah, you can make your own gameplay, but as you play. So I'll be honest, I skimmed through the trailer. It was very pretty, very whimsical, as you would expect, very weird. But yeah, I don't know. It could be cool. It could be neat. But I'm not sold on it yet.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I like some of the stuff that I saw on. I mean, I definitely like some of the stuff that I saw in the E3 trailer. It's just, I don't know. It's one of those things. I get the feeling that it's one of those games that's just straight up not for Jeff. It's not a Jeff game.
Maybe so.
It's for somebody who's like, I really like. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's like maybe it's something that would be better for somebody like Allison or Kayla, right? Maybe. I bet Kayla would really enjoy Dreams.
Well, it's funny you say that. I was watching it and thinking, oh, Allison would probably really like this game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know. So I don't know. We'll see. It also seems like there's just a lot to that game. I don't know. It just seems to put so much of the onus on the player, and I'm not really a big fan of when games do that. All right, next up, Matterfall. Did you see Matterfall?
Matterfall. Let me check my list. Oh yeah. It looked to me like, okay, generic sci-fi. Oh, look, we can do lots of particles. How exciting!
Yeah.
And that's really. It wasn't even a gameplay trailer, was it? Confession, I skipped through it.
It seems like it was mostly. I mean, I couldn't blame you because it's like a dude in space power armor with like blue polygons coming off of him, and then a bunch of red polygons show up, and so he starts hitting the red polygons with his blue polygons, and then a bigger red polygon shows up, and he hits that red polygon with himself and other blue polygons, and then there's even more red poly. It was just kind of like, I liked, because this is by Housemarque, the studio that made Resogun. And I like Resogun. I mean, it's kind of like a Defender, it was a nice thing to be able to play on day one on the PlayStation. But this one just didn't really, I mean, I need more than what they're showing me here.
That is what I took away from it as well.
Okay. Next up, Battlezone, which I could really honestly kind of care less about. This looks so freaking generic. I mean, it looks like... It's like, oh, it's a reimagining of Battlezone. And it's like, yay.
It looks like Budget Tron.
yeah, I mean, it's supposed to be on the PlayStation VR, and it's another one of those games that to me smacks of like I don't think this game would be made if not as like, look at VR, it's incredible, blah 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 blah. It's a showcase for VR more than an actual video game, which
it and based on a game from the early 80s, it's which Battlezone was kind of cool because it was all like vector graphics and everything, and it was convincing for the time, but to me it's almost like someone saying, look how good DVD quality is. Ooh. Like, yeah, that's great for 2001.
Well,
thank you.
You're absolutely right with that. There's nothing in this trailer that doesn't. I mean, this could be a PlayStation 3 game. Like, there's nothing. The fidelity of the individual tanks and the environments is good, but it's nothing that we wouldn't have seen, in the late era of the PlayStation 3 or the Xbox 360. So I'm sure that, like a lot of VR things, and as a proponent of VR, I could tell you it'll be way impressive when you're looking at it through a VR helmet. As a static trailer, though, it kind of looks like garbage.
Right. Yeah.
Let's see. Hey, Jason, how much do you care about Vector?
Hey, I am all excited about rhythm games, Jeff. Mm-hmm. I'm very, very excited.
You didn't watch this trailer at all.
Teaching this guy, Hector, how to dance. This schlubby dude, Hector, really wants to dance, and it's our goal to lead him towards a life of tapping his feet and being just a greasy little Gene Kelly.
Are you having some kind of like weird seizure today?
I didn't watch the trailer.
Okay, I
saw Rhythm Game and I was like, nope, pass.
It looks a lot like God, what's that one on Steam where you can put in your own tracks and then you're flying down the little tube.
Oh, yeah.
I forget which one that is, but it looks an awful lot like that, but then it's being made. Like, it was one of those, there have been a couple of these trailers that were that had a couple of weird things in it. In fact, when I actually went to go, I started watching the conference, and when I realized that I couldn't watch all of it, I turned it off. But, like, there was a point at the very beginning of this conference where the guy comes out, and he's like, it's the PlayStation 4, we're having a great year with games like, Uncharted, the Nathan Drake collection, and then he'll pause to like allow people to clap, and then I was amazed because one of the things that he said was the Order 1886. I was like, oh, dude, don't remind people about the Order 1886.
Yeah.
But the people in the audience clapped, so I was like, oh, there's a bunch of Sony industry people in the audience.
Plant.
Okay. Anyway, Vector is there's this electronic. Okay, I'm reading the description. Is being developed in collaboration with electronic music superstar Avicii or Avicii or Avakai or Avocado. I don't know. So it was like this French DJ or something. I don't know who this guy is. It's like a French DJ or something who's just like, I want to show people like what it's like to be in front of crowds. And it's like, yeah, but the gameplay footage is like a little laser tank going down a highway and blasting music notes. That isn't going to tell people what it's like. Anyway, whatever. This game looks boring and stupid, and I'm sorry for people who think that it looks cool because
I don't know. It looks like it could be cool. I mean, if that's your type of thing, pulsing EDM and so forth, but it's certainly not my thing.
Well, that's a much more even-tempered approach, which is exactly not why I have you on this show, Jason.
Oh, I'm sorry. It fucking sucks. Fuck it. Dance music. Kiss my ass.
There you go. All right, so Street Fighter V is going to have Dalsim, and he's now got a big beard and a turban.
Of course he does, because let's make it more racist.
I mean, was Dalsim racist before?
Pretty much. Okay. Yeah, I think so.
Okay. I don't know anymore.
I don't know. It's the original Street Fighter is very much like, let's put all these racist stereotypes, including the ones for white people.
Like the giant Guile hair? All the Guile
like Guile. Guile is very much like, just like, USA, USA. Yeah, let's put them all together and make them fight, which really, when I say it that way, I want to go back and play Street Fighter more. But yeah, Street Fighter 5. Yeah, it's okay. It's gonna answer all the questions from Street Fighter 4. Like, what is the best Street for these? I didn't watch it. I don't fucking know. I don't know.
It's just Street Fighter 5. Dulcima's in it. That's pretty much the entirety. I believe they might have. Did they? Yeah. Anyway, it's Street Fighter 5. Dulcima's in Street Fighter 5. That's the takeaway here. Next up, Horizon Zero Dawn, which was one of the more interesting things to come out of E3, or I don't know. One of the things that was kind of interesting to me to come out of E3 last year.
Zero what?
Zero Dawn. Horizon Zero Dawn.
Zero what?
Zero Dong. Horizon Zero Dong. Sorry.
There we go.
Sorry, I forget. I'm breaking my own rules here. Do you remember this trailer from E3 with the lady and the giant mechanical dinosaur, and she's got like a bow and arrow, and she's shooting it with the cyber bow?
No.
Oh, you didn't see this?
Maybe. I mean, sure. It sounds like something that I would have seen at E3.
You should go check it out. It's like after the apocalypse in the future, humanity has regressed back to this very primitive state, but they still have this technology. They're still using like bows and arrows, but they're supplementing it with, it appears the world has been taken over by robot wildlife. So machines that act like wildlife, that have herding behaviors, and some are predators and whatever. But this trailer was actually very similar to the one that they showed at E3. It just had this dude to come on and tell you really stupid things every so often. Like he'd be like, and if we pause and rewind, you could see that like, here's a number that came out of this enemy when we killed it. That's going to show you that there's RPG mechanics in this game. And it's like, yo, just say there's RPG. You don't have to like keep, just mashing that concept down. We know what RPG mechanics are. But Jason, if you haven't watched the trailer, the E3 trailer for Horizon Zero Dawn, you should go give it a shot because it's pretty impressive.
Okay, yeah. Is Dongacles in it at all?
I can't tell. There might be a Cyberdong somewhere in there.
Oh, Cyberdong. Yeah.
Big Cyberdongs.
Yep.
And last but not least, Ratchet & Clank PS4 trailer. Looks like a Ratchet & Clank game, real hard.
That's what I was about to say, and I didn't even watch the trailer.
I mean, it looks really, really good, and I think last week I spent enough time licking the Ratchet & Clank series' butthole to last for a little while. I'll totally play it. Looks real fun. Ratchet & Clank, stuff blows up, Captain Quark, etc., etc., etc. I don't know if you know this, Jason, but I've really developed a fondness for the Ratchet & Clank games over the PlayStation 3.
I am aware. I have not.
Yep. So
I'm like, yes, that looks adorable. I don't have time for that shit.
All right, so before we move out of this, there was one other trailer that I didn't get a chance to watch, which wasn't on this list, which was the Until Dawn Rush of Blood VR game that they're creating.
Okay, that sounds badass. Go on.
But I haven't watched it. I'm actually going to pull it up here. The Sweet Emotion is playing real fast. Let me just...
Oh, God damn it, Aerosmith.
And put the speaker up to my thing. But apparently this is going to be an on-rails shooter that takes place in the mind of the spoilers for Until Dawn, the bad guy, which I didn't end up playing Until Dawn, so I don't know. I'm unfortunately not entirely sure what exactly that means. But yeah, it's not going to be like playing Until Dawn with VR, apparently. It's going to be a whole different thing.
What?
Yeah.
An on-rails shooter?
Yes.
Whose
apparently.
dumb fucking idea was this?
I don't know. You would think that if you were a company that was making a horror game where you were a bunch of teenagers trapped in a house and there's a spooky murder man coming after you, that... And why wouldn't you translate that directly into VR? Like, are you kidding me? That would be the best thing of all, where you got a guy chasing you and you're in VR. That's like half the VR games that are out there are just horror games that are devoted to that exact concept. So why? I mean, here
I don't understand. I do not understand.
Yeah. So I'm just going to look this up because I read this in a different story, and I'm watching the trailer right now. I unfortunately I can't exactly turn up my speakers here, but okay, what does this say? Here's the PlayStation blog. Until Dawn, this is exactly verbatim from the PlayStation blog. Until Dawn, Rush of Blood is a descent into madness, taking you on a terrifying roller coaster ride of thrills and scares in a fast-paced arcade-style shooter.
Nobody wants that.
Yeah, especially for a game that people really seem to be enjoying based on the concept of, going into a cabin.
Being the opposite of that?
Right, of being a tense, third-person horror game, and now they're like, oh, no, it's totally a shooter, bro. But then that wasn't the craziest freaking VR news, because apparently Tekken 7, which they also had a trailer for, is also going to have some kind of PlayStation VR component. I don't know why. That doesn't...
Huh.
I mean, hey, I'll be honest, that seems...
okay. Just at first glance, I'm thinking VR fighting game. That could be cool.
Well, okay. I mean, here's what I'll say is that it's just weird to hear. It's not really anything. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. It's just a strange place to see VR happen. I've played games before that were actually. I don't know if did I ever show you the demo for. There was this game that was a bunch of little futuristic cars running around on a track that were blowing each other up. Did you ever play that?
Maybe.
I
don't know. Most
VR demos that are out there are first person, and that's great. But there are VR demos out there that are a third person game, or say something like Diablo, where the impression that you get is you are a giant looking down at a virtual space, and that space is where you're I think Diablo 3 would work perfectly in this, because it's it'd be as if you were looking down on the Diablo game and you could kind of turn your head a little bit, look around. It's really an incredible feeling. So if Tekken is, instead of having your fixed camera angle, you're looking kind of at the two players fighting each other, it could be much more immersive. It seems like such an odd choice. But then if I remember correctly, I think that the team that makes Tekken is the one that's making that weird, creepy girlfriend simulator thing.
Oh God.
Yeah. Let's see. Mr. Harada, who's Katsuhiro.
Hatoful Boyfriend.
No.
Which I didn't play, but I heard about that shit, and it ain't right.
No, not Hatoful Boyfriend. Katsuhiro Harada. No, you don't know about Summer Lesson.
Oh God, no! Don't even tell me. Don't even tell me.
Okay, I won't. I won't tell you. Okay, and so that is all of the news that I have to talk about from the Paris conference. I'm sure there was more stuff. I'm sure I'm missing out on a whole bunch of stuff. Feel free to go into the comments as always and tell me exactly how wrong I am about 16 different varieties of every single thing. So let's whip through these last few stories. First up, Outlast 2 teaser. Did you watch it, Jason?
Nope.
Okay.
I did not. I didn't. I mean, I knew there was an Outlast 2 coming. Did not watch the teaser. Was not all that into Outlast 1. Really. Yeah, just didn't. I was like, okay, whatever. This seems like an early 2000s type of conceit. Try harder. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, so basically this trailer is it's a cross, it's burning, there's some guy mumbling, I couldn't really hear what he was saying, and then the camera turns, and the cross turns upside down, so it's an upside down cross that's on fire.
Oh no, nobody saw that coming.
And
Fuck
then
you. Whatever.
The fire goes out, the night vision goes on, and all these eyes are looking out from because it's in the middle of a field, and all these little eyes are looking out from the field. I don't know, it's odd because I actually thought that Outlast got really good when it got to the end. I liked the way that it's got such an odd ending. I really like the way that they finished that game up. It does kind of make me wonder, though, what if they're just going to, on the second one, if they're just going to do more of the same, or if they're going to be trying to branch out and do something a little bit different.
Because everything, I was like, oh, okay, mental hospital, blah, 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 blah. I don't care. It's a horror game, but it just seemed like, this is all just a retread of everything we've seen in the last, 20 years.
Oh, in the original Outlast?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Like, you definitely have to slug through a little bit of it to kind of get to where there's some interesting parts in that game. But of all the horror games that I played over the last year, I mean, there's parts of Outlast that I feel like are really good. There's just too much of it. It's just there's the same problem in Soma where there are enemies in Outlast. Outlast should probably not have. Well, I don't know. Like, I'm so weird. When I play a horror game, like, I just ended up kiting the enemies because I could see the way their AI worked, right? But you're not supposed to do that. You're supposed to be like, I'm supposed to get away from this guy. Oh, shit. But that's not me. I just go like, oh, okay, well, he's going to follow me until he hits one of these choke points. So let's go this way, and then I'm going to go around this table, and I'll slow him down. You know, like, I don't get all like, oh, shit. I just look at it like a video game. So it's like, well, go over here and do this. So I don't know. Maybe I hope that if they do Outlast 2, I hope that the character, or I hope that there's a little bit more interactivity than just picking up documents and pulling up your night vision camera and looking at stuff and hiding. I don't necessarily need it to be like a first person shooter. But last week when we played Silent Hill Shattered Memories, like, we saw the Wii making a bunch of interesting ways of keeping you interacting with the environment instead of just walking and, you know.
Yes, absolutely. And, you know, it's so many games right now are, well, this is what we can do, so this is what we should do.
Right. So yeah, I'd like to see them branch out. Absolutely, for certain. All right, so now we've got a few different stories to just... We're going to rip through these real fast. First up, we had a story a little while back, and apparently... the Library of Congress has been issued exemptions to Section 1201 of the Digital Millennium Copyright Act. What does this mean? It means that if a game has full server authentication and no single-player mode, and the entire game is required to be played online, and those servers have been shut down, that they are able to use hacks and fake servers and things to circumvent that copyright protection in order to basically be able to keep the game in a state where at least people can try to play it, which I think is a great thing because
absolutely
it means that libraries, museums, and other places can if places that want to show you a game that used to be a thing, I'm all in favor of this. If a company has abandoned a game to that point where it's supposed to be online and it doesn't have a server anymore, and so the game actually won't run, as far as I'm concerned, at that point you've given up the rights to. I mean, I don't know. There was a very heated discussion about this the last time that I talked about it, Jason, in the comment section of Rage Select. But my feeling is that. I know that when we buy games and we buy software, we're not actually purchasing them. It's not like a book where you're purchasing a copy of them that you're able to do whatever you want to.
It used to be.
Yeah. But on the other hand, I feel like if I give you money for a game, that I have a reasonable expectation that game should not one day just cease to function.
Agreed.
VHS tapes do not cease to function once, after 10 years, because fucking Steven Spielberg shut down the server that authenticates the VHS tapes for his movies or whatever. So, yeah, as long as I feel like if the companies aren't going to keep that stuff alive, then they need to be ready to surrender some of their responsibility to people who are willing to keep the games alive, and that's just where I stand. And I know there's a lot of people who are like very pro company. I mean, it seems to come down to very much
why. Why would you be pro company?
Well, I think it comes.
I don't understand that.
A lot of people who are just like, well, no, people think. I think that the last time this came up, I'm sorry if I can't remember all the comments, but the last time this came up, I think there were a lot of people who were saying this is just going to be used as a crowbar, an excuse for hackers to essentially rip down copyright protection and take money away from developers that they would be getting if people were to legitimately purchase their games. But to be clear, this is not just for any old game. This is only if a game has a remote server authentication component and no single player. So only multiplayer only games where the servers have been taken offline. That's what this particularly applies to at the moment. It's
That's
not
really limited. I'm like, yeah, if no one's playing the game and no one's profited from it in X amount of years, then take it, put it up there.
Yeah. And to be clear, like I was saying, that is where this ends. And I don't believe, like, I'm not going to sit here and be like, all software should be free for everybody all the time. I'm not stupid enough to be like, yeah, fucking hack the planet. Woo, Angelina Jolie. If a company is going to let something just disappear into the ether, like there are so many movies and TV shows that we just don't have. I know there's supposed to be something like, I don't know, it was like 70 to 150 Doctor Who episodes that were just gone because the BBC used to
forever
air them, and they just tossed the tapes in a fire because they didn't want to archive them. So if you're not willing to do the work to archive this stuff, the least you could do is not prosecute people who want to try to keep your shit alive.
Agreed. Right.
So, yeah.
But, so many, I don't know, so many companies get prosecuted, or so many people get prosecuted. I don't know. Maybe that's incorrect as well. But there are so many companies out there that just sit on stuff that people want to play, and they've sat on it for God knows how long.
Oh yeah.
So why not make it? I mean, I know it's technically their right that it's not, that they make it unavailable, but I don't understand why. It doesn't make any sense to me.
Yep. I mean, like when we wanted to play The Thing for the Asylum, I had to buy a physical copy of The Thing because it's not on Steam, it's not on Origin, it's not on Good Old Games. I wanted to play No One Lives Forever 2 a while back. I had to go buy a physical copy off of Amazon of No One Lives Forever 2 because it was not on Steam, it was not on Good Old Games, it was not a thing that I could get access to. So, I mean, if you make something really, really difficult to get any kind of access to it, then I can't exactly cry you a river when somebody, if it's not reasonable for a person to get. When we were going to do the Asylum, I was looking at these PS2 horror games that cost $150 used because the company did a very limited run of them. And you go, well, none of this is coming from this company. None of this is coming from the company that originally created this. They're not. When I buy a copy of this off of Amazon, I'm buying it from some guy in New York that has like a copy that he put on eBay. So
yeah,
it's not like the company. I'm not taking money out of their pocket. I'm taking money out of the pocket of the guy who's got the last 18 copies of Rule of Rose and can afford to sell them for $250 a piece, sealed. Right? So I don't know. That's a whole other tangent. So
yeah, we're kind of getting off track there.
All right, let's continue going here. Just as a quick PSA, Batman Arkham Knight is back on the PC. You can totally get it again.
Oh, finally.
Yeah.
Okay.
I wonder, I'm going to be interested to look back on this in 6 months and see kind of what the PC sales. Of course, we never know. Steam doesn't release any sales figures, so we don't know. But hey, if you want to play Batman in super high resolution and everything, it's on the PC again. If anybody on Rage Select is playing it on the PC, chime in the comments and let us know, like, is it good? Is it running correctly? I mean, as I understand it, the biggest problem of it on the PC was just performance. So how's it doing? Did they fix it? Is it still broken? Let us know. I'm going to go ahead and kill that. Nintendo is making a... Okay, so, Jason, I don't know if you've been familiar with this, but Nintendo's partnered with this company called DENA to make mobile games, to make cell phone games.
Okay. Gotcha.
And the first one is coming out, and it is called Miitomo, but it's not a game. It's like lets you make a me, and then the me asks you questions and you answer them, and then it communicates with the me's on other people's phones, and they. What the CEO said that these will be, quotey fingers, friendly conversation starters in hopes of deepening friendships. I'm like, what? So it's Nintendo.
That sounds awful.
Facebook? I don't.
Which is funny since Nintendo eschewed like social media networked games and playing online and so forth for the longest time.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't really know. I mean, I guess if it comes to the US, I'll get it on my phone and see if it's any good. It's kind of weird.
Nobody's gonna mess with that. Except for maybe some Japanese people who are into, I mean, they're, totally into the cult of Nintendo or whatever. That might be something that they're crazy about.
Yeah.
But, I mean, as far as, like, real marketability, beats me, man. Good luck.
I mean, I don't know. I feel like the people who are big fans of Nintendo will like it. And we'll probably get it. It'll probably cost $4, and they'll just be like, "Oh yeah, Nintendo, $4, whatever." But speaking of things that don't cost $4, apparently Sony at this point has no first-party Vita games in development, which is a little interesting.
Sony has none.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
There's still third-party development for the Vita, but they aren't doing anything. They're focusing primarily on the PlayStation 4. There's actually a really interesting quote from Shuhei Yoshida, where he says the expectation of the graphical quality and size of the world for these type of games has risen since the launch of the PlayStation 4. The same thing happened with the PSP. People were so excited to be able to play PS2 graphics games on the go. After the PS3 launched, expectations grew. The type of games on the PSP were not as attractive. So it sounds like what he's saying is that, there's still games being developed for the Vita, but then he's saying that like the Vita was almost like a midway step where they were like, hey, look, now you can play PS3 graphics on the go. And here's a PS4, and but now that people have gotten used to what the PS4 looks like, they're all just like, well, this Vita's garbage, so we'll just fucking whatever. Like,
in that respect, I get it. He's not wrong.
It just seems a little odd. It seems like the sort of thing you wouldn't normally hear a company man actually say to a press person.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I feel bad for Vita owners who were really still counting on the Vita being a valid platform, because it sounds like, yeah, okay, it's done. Mm-hmm. It sounds like they're writing it off.
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, it sounds like they're just putting it into like, well, yeah, you could totally make games for this if you want to, and if not, then
yeah,
whatever.
If you want. I mean, nobody's going to play it, but if you want to do it, that's fine.
All right, so let's rip through these last three, and then we'll take a break. So guess who bought White Wolf Publishing, Jason?
Oh, who? Really? Somebody sold White Wolf? Wow. Okay.
Paradox, the people who made it's weird because Paradox makes Europa Universalis, Magica, and like City Skylines, Paradox Interactive, and they purchased White Wolf. So weird. I don't know. Keep your fingers crossed. Maybe a new Vampire the Masquerade game. I know everybody loves that game. I haven't played it, so I wouldn't be able to tell you. But
when it came out, it was I played it a little bit and I thought it was pretty cool. But man, White Wolf. Yeah, they must have gotten that for a song, because is anybody still playing White Wolf? Is that like still a thing? Or
I'm sure there's some. I am almost certain that there's some pasty 15-year-olds playing Vampire the Masquerade. I have to believe in my heart of hearts that no matter what else happens, there's some pasty 15-year-old in this world playing Vampire the Masquerade. Next up, Don Bluth has a Kickstarter to apparently raise $500,000 to create a teaser for a Dragon's Lair movie. A
teaser?
Yeah.
$500,000 for a teaser.
Yeah. This is from a report. I haven't gone. I hate the way that Kickstarter writes their dumb descriptions. Like, it's just like you try scrolling through this thing and there's just a million frickin' things before it actually tells you what the actual project is. They got 6 pages worth of rewards or whatever. But according to the story over on Game Informer that I was reading, they're looking for $550,000 to create a teaser that could then be shopped around to try to make a full-length animated Dragon's Lair animated film. That is insane balls. That's just crazy pants. That's fucking Wacko Town, USA, man. Like,
yeah, I thought when you were saying that, I thought you were going to say, "Oh, $5,000 for a short film or a game or something." No, a teaser.
Yeah.
Or no, Don Bluth. Are you giving me All Dogs Go to Heaven 7 or whatever?
Would you pay $550,000 for that? I mean, like, I don't want to be mean or anything, but Don Bluth is kind of, I mean, like, he's a good animator, but he's also spent years making kind of terrible movies. I mean,
still making movies? That's still a thing?
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't know when the last Don Bluth movie that came out was, but in any case, yeah, like, if you're looking to do hand animated Dragon's Lair, I don't think that's gonna. I mean, you could probably for $550,000, you could render all the characters in Dragon's Lair. I don't know. It seems like a shitload of money. It seems like a shitload of money for a thing.
It's like, Don, have you discovered Korea yet? Because it's not going to take that much money, buddy.
Yeah. Looks like this last actual film was Titan AE in 2000, so 15 years ago.
Oh, man. I saw that in the theater. That was a long time ago.
Yep. And last but not least, apparently, the Carlsberg Brewing Company is creating a Fallout beer, which seems like the weirdest choice in the entire world. Fallout.
That is very weird. Yeah,
it's $30 for a 12-pack. It just says Fallout beer on the front. It's not even like a clever name. It's basically just got some stuff, some like kind of Fallout imagery on the bottle. But why? Okay, you know what? I'm sitting here on Amazon. Why wouldn't you just make Nuka-Cola a thing and sell that for $30 a 12-pack? Because I might buy a $30 12-pack of Nuka-Cola.
Somebody, this guy Dylan tweeted that at me on Twitter, and I said the same thing. I was like, Fallout beer, like, well, it was Nuka-Cola. I could get behind it, but I don't know what the fuck Fallout beer is. Shut up.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It seems kind of cool, except that, I mean, could they not just have, it says, you look at the front of the bottle for Fallout beer and it says inspired by Vault-Tec Industries. It's just called like the Fallout, the words from the game, and then beer below that. That's it. And there's like a picture of the vault and it says inspired by Fallout. I'm like, could you not have called this like Rad Scorpion Lager or like Deathclaw Stout or like
because the people who are going to recognize it are going to like want some sort of in joke, right?
Right. I mean, hell, you could even have created something like a bock that was called Nuka-Cola and came in a glass bottle that looked like a soda and that had all the Nuka-Cola writing on it. I would have been way more interested in buying a beer that said Nuka-Cola than I am in buying Fallout brand beer for Fallout people, right? It just doesn't really do a whole lot for me. And with that, we're done. It seems like forever with the news section, but we're going to go ahead and take a break, and then we are going to roll on these questions. mail@rageselect.com is the email address. We're running way over this week, so we're going to take fewer questions than normal, but we'll be back in just a minute, so stay tuned. All right, and we are back. And Jason, unfortunately, we are only going to have time for a couple of questions today.
Okay, bring it. Bring them on.
Yep.
Put them in the face.
RageSelect.com is the email address. And the first question comes in from Jamie, who says, Dear Jeff and Jason, I have a class in college where I studied the plays of writers like Samuel Beckett and George Buchner, I think. Some of them are interesting, while others are so far up their own ass that I can't stand it. Have you ever seen any movies or plays that gave you this feeling? Just so I don't feel like I'm going crazy for being the only one who thinks this. Thanks for taking the time to read this and keep up the great work. Sincerely, Jamie. Jason, I think Jamie is asking if we've ever seen a movie or played a game that we felt was really far up its own ass.
Absolutely, yeah. And I think a lot of this is, any creative type can really just like get so pretentious. I've worked with these people before, and whenever I'm like writing something, or back in the day when I was directing short films or what have you, I'm just trying to entertain. Mm-hmm. I'm just trying to do like a cool story that people will like. I'm not trying to like follow trends or make it marketable or anything, but I am concerned that Jamie's absolutely right. People get like this Ouroboros of like shoving their own head up their ass, where Allison would say Darren Aronofsky is one of these guys.
Ooh, I will totally agree with that. I will.
Yeah, get Allison drunk and just say the trigger words Darren Aronofsky, and then step back. Make sure you are at least 5 feet from the blast zone, because it gets ugly. But yeah, no, there. I don't know. I've met a lot of writers who are. I'm just trying to tell a cool story and blah blah blah. Like Cargill, for instance, who Cargill, he's legit. He gets movies made and books published and everything. Cargill told me several months ago. He said there is no magic to what we do. Mm-hmm. Just like this is a process, and you have to be good at the process, which I thought was very telling. And then you have other people other people that I have worked with and spoken to, who really think that, no, what I'm doing is sacrosanct. Mm-hmm. And to those people I say, oh, go fuck yourself. No, you are making a game or a movie, and I don't care if you are making Galaxy or Geometry Wars versus Heavy Rain.
Yeah.
It's like, you are not special, Okay, you're making Hatchet 3? Cool. Oh, and you are making Requiem for a Dream? Also cool. But don't go and think that your work is better or more magical than anyone else. Fuck you. Now, I don't know if this is the case, and this is a television show, so this might not really fit, but I recently finished Hannibal.
Okay.
The television show.
Okay. I heard a lot of good stuff. Grant seems to really like it.
It's beautiful, and it is intelligent, but it is also so far up its own ass that these people just speak in riddles, and none of them are like, hey, what's up? None of them, and no one ever answers, oh yeah, not much, it's gonna get a sandwich and maybe get the car washed or something. I was thinking about getting a detail. No, all of them speak in this just Gordian knot of dialogue, and no one talks like that. And yet in Hannibal, every fucking character talks like that, and it became so goddamned annoying where the series became a comedy to me. Mm-hmm. In spite of all of the gore and the self-important pondering and the exploration of the human psyche, it just became this hour-long masturbatory bullshit. And I totally get why it got canceled.
Yeah, I think there's plenty of I think that when you start looking into games, especially looking into like the games as art, artsy fartsy types of video games,
yeah,
that you start to see a lot of those. It's mostly. It's mostly just that I've been reading this book about making games recently, and there was one part of this book that was like, that emphasized, and this guy he was so emphatic about, like, you need to show your game to other people. And there was like a whole chapter about, like, okay, so first you need to show it to people, and there's like some people who are long-term testers, some people who it's like this whole concept of you show your game to a person and you could only do that one time. You could only evaluate the first time they're able to look at your game, because you're getting really important information from what the first impressions of people are that you're never going to get the second time. Like you're only going to get the first time they play their game. But so much of it was this guy emphasizing, like, you need to make games that are fun for a group of people, not just a game that you really want to play. Like, if you want your game to be successful, and I think that this goes just as much in a lot of ways. I mean, maybe not quite as much for movies or books because they're passive, but with the interactive nature of video games, you've got to get other people's input and not just make your own game. Because sometimes it'll work.
That really goes for any sort of creative endeavor. Mm-hmm. You know, it's your art. Sure, it exists in a vacuum, but why? If you're just showing it to yourself, then it's masturbatory. And if you're any type of creative person, I think that the most productive thing that you can do is constantly keep moving forward and creating, while at the same time thinking, this is shit. Mm-hmm. so because if you're doing that, you are always trying to get better, and you should always try to get better. But if you sit there and think, well, what I created, nobody gets it because I'm smarter than everyone else, or I'm some sort of genius. No, fuck you. Fuck you. You're not. You're just an asshole. Okay? So you need to sit there and think that, no, this is garbage, but I'm going to release it anyway, and I need to constantly try to improve. Because if you're that asshole that sits there and thinks, well, nobody really gets it, so I'm going to make another one, and this one will be just as brilliant as my last piece, then you are not getting any better. Then you are just sitting there giving your ideal self a hand job. And you're also a dickhead.
I guess the thing is that just to temper this just a little bit, like, I don't feel like it's still important that you have an idea of the thing that you want to create. But like in this book, I found it really interesting just how much time this guy spent saying, like, you need to ask people what they think about your game, and you need to when they tell you that they don't like a thing, you need to think about that and decide, like, well, that's really important, and I'm going to leave it in there because because it's important to what I'm trying to say in my game. Or you need to say, like, no, it's not important, and we're going to get right. You don't need to just dig your heels in. Like, I feel like I'm looking for examples of these games. I think that I like Fez, but I think that Fez is way up its own ass. Like, way up. Hell, I like Metal Gear, but the Metal Gear series is way up its own ass. Like,
yes,
it's so up its own ass, and I like the ass that it is up. Let's be clear about that. So I tend to like it, but
phrasing, but okay,
yeah. But I'll tell you what, Jason, there's this game. It's one of those flash artsy fartsy games that God, I don't remember the name of it. It was a game about waiting in line. And it was a game where you had just like a little character and use the arrow keys to move them around on the screen, the little pixel character, and you just had to wait in line to see this art exhibit.
Oh, I remember reading about that, yes.
That game was probably the most up its own ass game that I've ever seen.
Well, you know, they were trying something different, and that's you can appreciate that, but yeah. It's get over yourself.
Yeah.
You were not a beautiful and unique snowflake. You were the all-singing, all-dancing crap of the world.
All right, next up we have a question from Hoostemond, who says, "Hi, Jeff and Jason. I am now returning to my home country after working in London for a year, and have not played any next-gen games. I would love to enter the adventure of next-gen, but I stand on the ground of not knowing which console I should buy. I did not own a PlayStation 3, But I did own a PlayStation 1 and 2 and then switched to the Xbox 360 when the time came around. So my position, I'm neutral to both consoles. That both of them have incredible games to play. I do not have money for both of them. London made sure of that. So what to do? Hope you have an answer or just some really good advice. May you have the Rage Select team. May you and the Rage Select team have a wonderful day and keep being fucking awesome. Much Patreon love from Hoostmand.
Hoostmand. So he's asking
PS4
or
Xbox
Xbox One.
Yeah.
You go first.
Well, okay. We get this question. This is one of those ones we get all the time. I just like to pick it up every so often to kind of check back in on the thing of on the kind of the answer that I have to this. The main thing for this to answer this question is what games do you want to play? If you want to play Halo, get an Xbox One. If you want to play Uncharted, get a PS4. If you want to play both, pick which one you want to play more and choose that. Also, it's always worth asking, like, if you have a bunch of friends and they all have Xbox Ones, maybe you get the Xbox One because you prefer, you just want to be in that social infrastructure with your friends as opposed to being kind of out and about with the randos on the PS4. I mean, I personally like the PlayStation a little bit better. Like this week, Jason, did you know? I'm going to ask you this. I got Halo 5 this week. Halo 5 is like a 55 gig install and then like a 9 gig patch it had to download on day one.
Sure.
Did you know that the Xbox One doesn't have that thing where you can open up a status window and it's like, 15 out of 70 gigs downloaded at 4.3 seconds, 62 minutes remaining or something like that? It doesn't have that. It's just got a percentage, and that percentage could just creep up or stop or whatever, and there's no additional information. Like, that really upsets me because I'm trying to get Halo installed for my fucking show, and I can't tell if, like, your server is stalled or, like, the install is broken or whatever. But once I got Halo installed, it was Halo. Played great.
I don't know. I mean, really, you can't go wrong with either one. Both of them are very good systems. The graphics differences are really imperceptible to most people.
Yeah.
Jeff's right. It depends on what games you want to play. There's been a lot of Xbox hate lately, but I don't think that's entirely warranted because the PS4 really isn't all that different. If you want to play the Uncharted series, you go with the PS4. If you want to play Halo or Tomb Raider, you go with the Xbox. Other than that, it's really kind of a wash.
The main thing is over the course of the. Like, I tend to buy most of the games that we get on the PlayStation 4, and that's the platform that I tend to use for the show more often than not is the PS4, and that's mostly because the PS4 tends to have just a little bit of better graphics. It's not always. It's hardly ever actually noticeable, but it tends to have just a slightly better edge on graphics. But the main reason is that, like, in the Rage Select line of work, if you're in the middle of a game drought, like, for example, that Godzilla game that I played with Matt Frank only came out on like the PS3 and the PS4. Over the summer, there's been a bunch of, and like, don't get me wrong, they're garbage titles like Ode Chambara, Z2 Chaos.
Matt Frank would argue that Godzilla game is all you would need for the next 3 years.
Well, that's true. That's true. I like to give him shit constantly because he's like, I bought a $400 Godzilla statue. And I'm like, dude, every time you come over here, you talk about how you want a PlayStation 4. It's less money to buy a PlayStation 4 than half of the Godzilla shit that you buy. But like, there was a Dragon Quest Heroes game that came out that was like, I think PS3, PS4. Right now, there's just a lot of things on the PlayStation 3 and PlayStation 4. But if you really want to make an informed decision, pick up, you could look, I use this one, Game Informer has a list on their site. If you just do a Google search for Game Informer 2015 game releases, you'll find a list of everything that's come out this year with the platforms. But if you just look and see, like, go to GameStop's website or go to the various PlayStation Store, Xbox Store, and look at what's coming out in the future, you could find out. If you're more into Gears of War, buy an Xbox One. But that's really what it comes down to. Or you could say the hell with it. Well, I was going to say you could say to hell with it and buy a PC, but not for $400. You can't buy a PC that's not worth a damn. You might be able to assemble a PC that's almost worth a damn for $400, but I don't even think that's really, whatever. Anyway, choose quickly because but there's going to be a bunch of Black Friday stuff coming up where you can get one for a little bit cheaper. And then we got one more big question. That one comes from Chelsea, who says, "Hello, Jeff and Jason. I was wondering, do you have high expectations for the PlayStation 5? I got my PS4 back in September when Destiny came out. This past year, I've seen it slowly but surely add more and more features and still hope that one day they add more. I was thinking if the PS5 comes out 3 to 5 years from now, I would expect it to be leaps and bounds better than the PS4. What are your thoughts? P.S. Sorry you don't have more females watching your YouTube videos. I think you are awesome. Chelsea." Thank you, Chelsea. So I think
Chelsea, recruit your friends. Come on. Let's do it. Bring the ladies. Jeff's a single man, ostensibly disease-free, a prodigious beard, a shaved head, a silky baritone voice. Chelsea, tell your friends, sick them on this bad boy. Come on.
I'll tell you a quick story here. We're just about to wrap up, but I'll tell you a quick story, Jason. As I was at the bar the other night, sitting there reading my book, and this lady walks up to my table, and she's just like, "Hey, I just want to let you know some crazy bitch is going to come over here. She wants to feel your head." And I'm like, all right, I don't have any problem with that. So this crazy bitch came over and was like, "Yeah, I want to feel your head." And I was like, all right. She was like, "Yeah," she's rubbing my bald head with her ostensibly like 6 other dude friends that were with her. And then she was like,
"You should have been." She's like, "I want to feel your head." You should have just whipped your dick out.
Zip, yeah. How did I know? That's where you were going? But yeah, it put a little smile on my face. I was like, "Oh, hey, I got molested. That's cool. I should get a fresh shave in more often." Anyway, do we even think, I mean, I don't know. It's been a while since we've covered this particular topic, but, I mean, do we even think there's going to be a PlayStation 5?
Yeah. I mean, I haven't really considered it at all. I haven't thought about it at all because I still think there is so much that this generation can do. And, I mean, hell, we're going to start seeing all the VR stuff, like, within the next year. Yeah. So that's going to really change everything. But it's like when you've like lived through, like you and I have, and experienced all of these life and death cycles of consoles, you know when it's time for a new console. And we are so far from that right now.
Yeah.
That I can't even conceive it. It's because there is so much that the Xbox One and the PS4 have to show us. You know, I still think we're going to have our minds blown, like absolutely just have our imaginations kicked right in the ass by what these two consoles can do.
I mean, what is this? This is year 2?
Year 2, yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, normally these things, they shoot for like a 10-year life cycle. And when you consider what games looked like on the PS3 and the Xbox 360, like at the very beginning of their lifespan, and what they looked at the end of their lifespan, like, yeah, they managed to squeeze just more and more like power and optimization out of those. I mean, we've got, the new id engine, the new Unreal engine that are still kind of coming out, starting to suss down into the developers' hands. So there's probably plenty of time left. But, I mean, I've been on record before, and of course this is just rampant rank speculation, that I think that by the time we get to a PlayStation 5, Xbox 2, is that what they call the next one?
I guess. Who knows? Who knows what they're going to do?
That it's going to be a service and not a console. That it'll be... I hope that 10 years from now it'll just be like, it's a $15 subscription service for PlayStation, and you just you subscribe to it, and it streams through to some kind of set-top box. I mean, we've already seen that the Xbox One and Windows 10 have that weird streaming integration tech where you can stream stuff from your Xbox to your PC. I think it's just a matter of time until they get that stuff. I mean, I don't know. It depends on how the network backbone in the United States works 10 years from now.
That's what I was getting. That's what I was about to say is, yeah, you've really got to enhance the internet infrastructure in the U.S. Well, really in most countries, but especially the U.S. Before we see a pronounced any sort of punctuated evolution in the consoles.
Yep. But yeah, I hope. I mean, I hope that in 10 years from now, the tech is all there. I'm hoping that 10 years from now, that we don't even have a thing. The concept, the very idea of putting a box full of silicon under your TV is going to be quaint and old fashioned. Like having a giant TV in a big mahogany, 2-ton box in your living room is to us now that's what it's going to seem like 10 years from now. I'm hoping it's all going to be your cell phone equivalent is streaming games to a VR or a VR headset, so you're just watching a virtual screen. That all this rest of this bullshit's going to be gone anyway. But that's just me. And then last but not least, we've got a quick question from Swedish Latino who wants to just get some clarification. So this is going to be real quick. It says, "Hola, Jeff and Jason. I was wondering what happened with the Ragecast. Are you not doing them anymore, or did you just stop uploading them to YouTube? I live in Sweden, and the only way for me to watch the Ragecast is on YouTube because of the time difference. So I'd appreciate if the Ragecast is uploaded, or if all the Ragecasts are on YouTube. Then tell us why you stopped doing them." And then he says, "Halsningar." I don't know what that means. From Swedish Latino. So I think I've mentioned this a few times before, but I thought I would just come out and clarify real briefly that we've mainly just been very busy at this point of not having the time. The Ragecast is the sort of thing that we want to just rush and throw out there and have a crappy one, right? So it's mostly just been a time and busyness thing.
Yeah, and it ceased after a couple of months because we did it 3-4 times, something like that.
I think we did 4 of them. Yeah,
4 of them. Yeah, it ceased to be special and it started to feel like an obligation. Mm-hmm. And so we kind of backed away from it for a little bit, but also time. We are going to do it again, but it's not going to be monthly. And we're going to, I think, retool it and make it be maybe a little more structured and a little more exciting next time you see it. So,
okay. So you heard it here first, Swedish Latino. It's Russian roulette, Russian roulette Mexican standoff. We call it a Mexican roulette next time on the Ragecast.
That's exactly what I had in mind.
Just a lazy Susan with a bunch of revolvers on it, and just spin the wheel. It's going to turn into the Deer Hunter live show.
Didi Mao! Didi Mao!
Oh, and that's all the questions that we have because we've been going on for fucking forever. Thanks to everybody who wrote in. Thank you, Jason, for Skyping in here with me to see if we can't smooth this little process out a little bit. Do you want to tell the people about all of your creative endeavors?
I don't know. I mean, I got a book available that, everybody listening to this probably already knows, but in case you don't, on Amazon, you can order a book called Fresh Meat 2015 by Sinister Grin Press. I have a short story in that called Homunculus. It's horror. Maybe you'll like it. It's really fucked up and gross. I don't know. Maybe you won't like it. Don't let your mother read it. I don't know.
Is it not for nanas? I thought that was our whole. Is this your side project of making stuff that's not for nanas?
This is my not for nanas side project. In fact, I want to get a little sticker on the book. You know how you see those stickers like now to be soon to be a major motion picture?
Yeah.
I want to get a sticker that says not for nanas.
Just not for. You're just gonna go down to Barnes and Noble and slap that on all the books.
It's available on ebook for like $3.99. It's available on actual hard copy for I think $13.99. And I have some other stuff coming up within probably the next month or so. And it's it's exciting, new and different. So hopefully you guys will be able to experience that soon. But yeah, I'll be back on here, pimping it until you're sick of it. So stay tuned. Check out my my website. I actually have a website that I update every now and then, jasonsmurphy.com. I haven't updated it in like 2 weeks or something like that. But yeah, I'm on there every now and then putting up stuff that you won't see on Twitter or Facebook. So yeah, check it out.
Cool. All right, and that is our show for this week. Now, I need to go find my lazy Susan, so let's wrap it up.
Didi Mao!